Good evening, everyone. Now, y'all know good and well our mayor is not going to allow y'all to get away with that good evening. So let's try this again. We're at King Center. We make noise at King Center. We celebrate at King Center. We have a good time. So let's try one more time to get everybody's attention. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. All right, thank you all for coming out. We're going to get right into our program right away. We're going to call one of our esteemed pastors from the city of Jackson, Lily Missionary Baptist Church, for our invocation, Pastor James Hines.
Thank you, Brother Willis. Let us pray. Our Father and our God, we thank you for this day that we've come to honor our leadership. God, we thank you for the state, and we pray that you would strengthen us as we develop leaders for today and tomorrow. Help us to honor you with our lives. In Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Hands together for Pastor Hines. Thank you. We appreciate you, Pastor Hines. At this time, we'd ask that the audience rise as we'll call to the stage one of our mayor's talented daughters. In tracing Blazer history, I've learned that many of our celebrities, the Tony Dungys, the Babby Masons, all began as little children singing within our city right here. So please welcome our next star from Jackson, Miss Calvena Mahoney.
This one? Oh. You want to break it? Okay. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights and the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the lands of the free and the home of the brave?
Wow, that is amazing. I know that's the mayor's daughter, but she didn't get that from her daddy. She didn't get that from her daddy. No, I heard her grandma sing. I know where that comes from. Beautiful, just outstanding. Did y'all hear how she hit that last high note so silky smooth? That's a bad girl. That's a bad girl. Thank you, Mrs. Mahoney. One more time for Miss Calvena Mahoney. Outstanding, outstanding. Up next, for many of you that are from a community, you know how important this community center has been to us. Working down here is not just a job, it's a lived experience. Once you're here and you work and spend time, you can never go back into the comfort of your home and enjoy knowing that there's some that can't go to a home at all. You can never go back home to the regular meals that you eat without thinking of the people that you see down here every day that don't get a chance to do that. Once you do it, it becomes a mission and a part of your life. One of the people that was with me the whole time I was down here for the most part and has done a phenomenal job as the director here will be the next voice that you hear. Please welcome to the stage the director of the Martin Luther King Community Center, Mr. Antonio Parker.
Good evening. All right, I'm like John. Like you said, I came under him, and I've been down here working here for 20 years. So I'm gonna need one more time. Everybody, good evening. Good evening. All right, yeah, a little bit better. All right, so my name is Antonio Parker, and I have the wonderful opportunity to be in charge of this place. In my opinion, the King Center is the Mecca of Jackson. It is the absolute hub to come get anything you need at the King Center. I would first like to thank all of our city officials in attendance, Kelly Hoover, my department head, and all the things she do for our programs, and everybody here. I want to start with a question about Dr. King, and it's on that front wall out there. Life's most urgent question is, what are you doing for others? I'm paraphrasing just a tad, but again, what are we doing for others? That's the question that I want to pose to everybody in this room right now, is that we have to continue to do for one another. That makes Jackson better, that makes our community better, that makes us better. When we continue to do for others, and when we continue to do those things, Jackson just becomes a better place. I won't talk too much, I want Mr. Mahoney to say his words, but ultimately, the King Center, again, is all what you need here. Anything you need out there in our recreation brochure out there is all things King Center, all things for the rec department, from A to Z. And so I won't go through all the programs that are in the brochure. So if you have any questions or concerns about recreation programs, it's all in the brochure right out in the lobby area. The last thing I'll leave you with is a quote by Dr. King also. And he started with, you can't fly, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. And if you can't crawl, by all means, just keep moving forward. In Jackson, let's continue to move forward. Let's continue to do what we need to do in our community to move forward. We're going to have disagreements. We're going to have the things that happen. But ultimately, the goal is to move forward. Thank you.
Still a little jealous of Tone, got that big old office in the corner over there. I was meeting with people in the closet, all types. He got big office windows, but he's doing a great job, phenomenal job. We'd like to take this time to also recognize some of our city council members that are here. We have 6th Ward Councilperson, Mr. Will Forgrave, 5th Ward Councilperson, Mrs. Laura Slechty, 3rd Ward Councilperson, Ms. Angelita Gunn, 2nd Ward Councilperson, my guy, Dr. Freddie Dancy. We call Freddie a doctor. Freddie is a doctor of fine butters. If you never had Dancy's fancy butter, then you know what I'm talking about. And we're going to call to the stage at this time one of our own, been with our community for a long time, looking out for our community in a lot of different ways. Please welcome to the stage our Vice Mayor and 1st Ward Council Member, Mrs. Arlene Robinson.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I want to say welcome to all of our residents and city staff, members for the city of Jackson. I want to thank our mayor, Mr. Daniel Mahoney, and our city manager, Mr. Jonathan Greene. I know you're here. There you are. For the opportunity to be one of the speakers tonight. I certainly count it as an honor and a privilege to be here this evening. You are in the home of Ward 1, City of Jackson, Morrell, Cooper, South Street, and Greenwood. That's us, you guys. That concludes the full boundaries of this ward. I want to also offer many thanks to the staff and my co-council members for all of your support, your dedication and commitment to this community. I am Arlene Robinson, and I'm going to brag a little bit. I'm the oldest. I've been at the council going into finishing up my 10th year. I became council member for this ward in 2013. Just to highlight a few of the things and the reason why I serve this community, It's certainly not for my self-gratification. I serve this city government for the betterment of this community that we all live in. That's the entire city, but my main focus is Ward 1. So to better the community for residents, friends, and certainly family. I have young ones in the community that are a part of this ward as well. And so I'm looking out for all of you. I do what I do for you. I'm truly excited and proud of our new renovated King Center, Martin Luther King Center. I said I was going to do that, just say King Center. It's one of my most favorite city structures, and it's right here in the boundaries of Ward 1. There are so many programs, and I really hope that you all take advantage of the brochures that are out there that Antonio just told you about. There are just a great number of programs and activities that are held right here in our King Center. And I also want to say that it is the home of Jackson College for our students in this local area as well. I'm honored to say that not only do I represent residents of this ward, where many positive changes are in the making. And they were initiated a few years back. I sat down with former Mayor Dobies, I saw him in here as well, when we talked about the things the neighborhoods need. And of course, he and I came together and we started some of the initiatives that you are seeing, and I know the mayor's gonna tell you all about them, so I'm not gonna steal his thunder, but there are a number of things that are going on in this community, started back in 2017 when Mayor Dobies took office. I also sit on the following city boards, so I don't just attend council meetings. I have been appointed the liaison for a few boards that will make a difference for this community. One is the Human Relations Commission, where we look for the betterment and helping the residents of this community. I also serve on the Group Violence Intervention. That's another hot topic for this community, for the crime, the things that we experience in this ward. We're not alone. I always throw that in there. We're not the only area that has that, but we have our fair share. I also sit on the, what we call the MLK CIA board to bring positive change resolutions to this community. One, the number one that I've heard for so many years is trying to get a grocery store back into this community. I also want to send a special thank you out to other groups and nonprofits that are working very diligently in this community. That would be the RIA, Residents in Action Group. I really appreciate all their efforts, especially during these last few months where they've helped us with this homelessness situation in the city of Jackson. I also want to mention the Par Shoulder Girls. They're right outside this community. Their home office is, but I do want to say thank you to them as well. The NAACP, my love, is where I got my first start in the community about 35 years ago. And a number of other groups, the Chamber. There's just so many grassroots nonprofit groups in the community that are serving. Let me not forget my sister sitting right there, YPOP. Diane and I have been partners for a few years, working on different efforts for this community. In closing, I would just like to encourage all of you to listen very closely to the mayor, because he's going to tell you about the things that we have going on right now in this community. And I really encourage people to get involved, join one of our boards, put in an application, they're right online, get involved, be a part of the change that you're about to see in Ward 1. I want to thank you all for coming tonight, and don't hesitate to reach out to us, and I'm speaking for all my council members because I know how dedicated they are as well. If you have any feedback, that you think we should hear, and we certainly will address it. We may not always agree, but we will do our best to try to meet the needs of this community. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Robinson. This time I want to bring a young man to you that has given himself towards helping our community. Some years ago, he began a backpack giveaway down here. And I remember the intensity that he worked at it with. I mean, he was here all types of hours. Oh, I'm sorry, did I skip somebody? Oh, I'm sorry, Will. Let's go get a credit to Will. Well, when Will started this, no, go. I'm sorry. Mr. Will Forgrave, our 6th Ward City Council person and Chief Parliamentarian. Well, you should have said point of order, Will. I would have been ready.
All right, good evening, everybody. That's good enough. So I'm honored to be able to stand up here before everybody and speak briefly on some of the accomplishments that this group of council members and city leaders has achieved in recent years. We have not always been perfect, and we have made mistakes, but I am happy, however, to be here today and explain how recently I think we can be proud of what we've been up to. In front of you is a group of council members and city officials who have worked diligently to rebuild relationships with local nonprofits and organizations, who have worked toward multi-million-dollar projects to renovate vital water infrastructure within our city, some of which hasn't been touched in over a generation, who have worked to curb violent crimes in the city, and who have worked to rebuild the city's housing stock with a plan that will see the most new homes built in Jackson since post-World War II. And I might add, I'd like to add, as I'm knocking doors in the 6th Ward, we did all of this while at the same time approving budgets that lowered property taxes for the last 3 straight years. Before you tonight is a group of leaders and city officials who recognize the power in admitting that we are not the smartest people in the room, and who are committed to working together with people who are. Whether that's working with Residents in Action, the Jackson Public Schools, and the Jackson Housing Commission to help better serve the homeless population, or working with local contractors and our own DPW staff to replace lead service lines, reaching out to people and organizations who work in these spaces, giving them the tools they need to work, and then getting out of the way has served us well in recent years, and I think that's something to be proud of. As I mentioned, for the first time since the Nixon administration, contractors will soon update and improve both the water treatment plant and the wastewater treatment plant in the city. I think most of us take for granted the fact that when we turn on our faucets in our showers, that clean, potable water comes out. That is not magic. That does not happen without the hard work of not only dedicated city staff, but also dedicated tax dollars to the tune of 20 to 30 million over the course of the next 10 years. I'm proud to work with a group of people who recognize the importance of providing safe water to everyone. And it's been over 15 years. It's past time we take the action to provide that. So that is something to be proud of. I think for too long, people treated gun violence solutions as a wedge issue. If you were for more social workers and for gun violence intervention programs, then you were against more uniformed officers, and vice versa. Some of you have likely heard this rhetoric now that we're approaching another election season. But I'm here to tell you that this group of city officials and city council members, I think, has found a better way. In 2021, we voted to create a gun violence intervention program and hire the coordinators and the social workers to attack street violence and gun deaths in the city from a more empathetic angle when that approach is suitable. At the same time, the city of Jackson has had posted jobs for patrol officer positions with the Jackson Police Department for more than 2 straight years. So let me repeat that. For 2 straight years, we have been hiring more police officers. So today, I'm extremely pleased and hopeful that we have a group of leaders at City Hall and on City Council who have started to treat the issues of gun violence with the gravity, the urgency, and the seriousness that it deserves. Put simply, we can and we have put politics aside. We've ignored the impulse to argue about solutions, and we've done everything we can, and I think that's something to be proud of. From 2011 to 2016, the city spent more than $7 million, most of which came from the federal government, to tear down blighted, dilapidated, and vacant homes in our city. Nearly 700 homes were torn down in that 5-year period. Now, I can only speak for myself when I say that I think the city went a little too far with this program. While the majority of these homes, in my opinion, should have been torn down, there was a minority that existed that could have been sold, renovated, and brought up to code for a reasonable cost. Too many homes were torn down with the publicly expressed intention of raising property values of the homes that remained. I think the program did what it was intended to do, and now we find ourselves in an affordable housing problem of our own design. Before you, though, is a group of dedicated individuals and city staff who doesn't dwell on the past and instead looks ahead to solutions for the future. At our most recent city council meeting, not even a month ago, we voted unanimously to allocate federal funds to build more than 200 new homes in the city, with 100 of those homes slated to be marketed and made available to individuals and families who make less than the area median income here in the city of Jackson. After years of tearing down affordable homes, we'll be building new ones. So, unless someone has a time machine that can go back to 2011, I think we're doing the next best possible thing. All of this is to say, you and other city residents will not always agree with our programs and our initiatives. And in fact, we won't always agree, as you all know, for the last 4 years that I've been on, working with all of you. But I think we can all confidently attest that this group of individuals and city staff and city council are working with the best of intentions, and we're doing our best for you and the city as a whole, and that, I think, is something to be very proud of. So, thank you.
Thank you, Will. Back to that backpack thing that Will started there, we were talking about. One of the toughest things to do when you're in the public eye is make a decision that will affect everyone around you. Those that are in favor of you, those that are not in favor of you. To make those decisions, it reminds me of a story I've heard and I've told before. There was a young man who was a professor in California, taking a job in Hawaii. He was being called upon to do a lot of work, traveling back and forth by flight, terrified of flying. He's on the highway, traveling, about to get on a flight, headed to Hawaii. There's this bottle, these cars keep hitting this bottle on the highway. Being a considerate young man he was, he stopped his car, he got out, picked the bottle up. As he picked the bottle up, poof, a big genie popped out of the bottle. He's like, wow, a genie. Genie said, okay, you've got one of 2 wishes. The guy's like, wait, a genie, I'm supposed to get 3 wishes. Yeah, I've been in a bottle for 500 years. I got 2 good wishes left for you. You get one of them. What do you want to do? So he thinks about it. He thinks about his fear of flying, this trip that he's making back and forth to Hawaii all the time. He says to the genie, I would like a bridge that goes from California to Hawaii so I don't have to fly every day. Help me with my fears. I can get back to my family without flying. Genie starts to think about it. He thinks about the bridge. That's not a tough part for a genie, but all the different things he has to do, all the coding, all of the enforcement things he has to do just to comply with the law. The genie said, okay, what's the other wish you're thinking about? He says, if you would just give me something, I'm going to speak to this crowd. I just need something that everybody will agree on. Just give me that one thing that both sides are going to like. The genie thought about it. He looked around. He said, now, this highway, is that 2 or 4 lane? That's how tough it is to make the kind of decisions we've been watching this young man make. When you're from the hood and you get into a position, you get some phone calls that other politicians don't get. Because they're going to call you up like, bruh, that is not what you said you was going to do, bruh. But he's handled it well. He's done a phenomenal job. It's been exciting to watch him. It's been a pleasure to speak with him and share with him on different commissions and things. Please welcome to the stage the first African-American mayor of the city of Jackson, our mayor, Mr. Daniel J. Mahoney.
I got this mic way up here because Will came up here. They should have bought me a stool out here. Good evening. Good evening. Okay, y'all tried hard, but you know I'm gonna make you do it at least one more time. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. My name is Daniel J. Mahoney, and I know exactly what you're thinking right now. What does the J stand for tonight? The J stands for just getting started. It stands for Jackson. In most cases, it stands for just trying to do my part. But my mama is sitting right here to the right, so I'm gonna tell you the truth and tell you it stands for Jermaine. I wanna start by sincerely thanking God for the grace and guidance that he's had over my life in general. I don't think I would have ever imagined in 1,000 years that I would be right here, right now. Want to say thank you to my mother, my father, who is watching all the way from Atlanta, Georgia right now, for raising me to be the human being that I am. The strength and compassion that I have come from both of them in both ways, both strong and compassionate in their own ways at different times. Got to thank my brother, who's also my pastor, for a lifetime of spiritual guidance. A lot of people said they could not imagine Shante turning into a pastor, but I could tell you a story about when he beat me up for cursing God one day, but that's for another day. My siblings, all 11 of them, my team, my circle of friends, all the people who support me and keep me grounded. My 5 daughters, we had to wrangle them to get here, y'all, but they look beautiful being here. And so Callie, Sophie, Olivia, Cecilia, and Island, I love you guys. Island's in her tablet, ain't paying no attention right now. I love you guys. Calvena, man, you blew them away, okay? And my best friend, my partner, my therapist, my listening ear, my supporter, the person who, if my mama don't get you first for saying something crazy, she gonna get you. My wife, my life partner, I appreciate you. And you guys are all the reason why I do what I do. So I want to acknowledge all the clergy in the room, all the elected officials from the county and the state. One thing that I think we got to start making sure that Mr. Willis does when he comes up here and in these spaces, even though he is a city representative, he is also a county commissioner, okay? And I see my brother Darius Williams, Commissioner Darius Williams in the back as well. I want to acknowledge you guys and any other elected officials in the room. I know I saw trustee, school board member, previous mayor, Derek Doby somewhere. Oh, there we go. Had his baby girl with him. So I'm like, I don't know where he went. He might have had to take Nova to the restroom. But my brother Derek in the building also. And thank everybody for being here tonight. Like, give yourselves a round of applause for being here tonight. Got to say thank you to the City of Jackson staff and all of the council members for being here tonight, and those who could not be here tonight but are probably somewhere tuned in. It has sincerely and truly been a pleasure to serve alongside of every single one of you and work to make Jackson a better place. Got to give a special shout out to Lisa, to Aaron, to Jonathan, to Kelly and Tone for assisting and putting together the details for tonight. Okay, y'all ready? I only got about an hour worth of talking to do. Man, it has been 1 year, 3 months, 28 days,
18 hours, 16 minutes, and about 48 seconds since I was sworn in to be the mayor of the city of Jackson. Not that I'm keeping track or anything, but you know what they say, time flies when you're having fun. And I can't believe that it's already been a full year since the first State of the City address that I did a year ago. And again, I have to say it has been sincerely my highest honor to serve the citizens of the city of Jackson, and I'm inspired and motivated to continue serving as we look upon the horizon of the future. Last year, I reported that the state of our city to be in a renaissance, a rebuilding phase. Somewhere in the last 5 years, I start getting into history. It probably would have served me a little better when I was in high school because I hated history in high school. But Winston Churchill said, those who fail to learn from history are doomed to repeat it. And as I studied the different periods from history, I don't think that it's a coincidence where we are right now today as a city. The state of the city is moving from a renaissance to a reformation. The Oxford Dictionary definition of reformation is the action or process of reforming an institution or practice. Vocabulary.com defines it as the act or process of changing a religious, political, or societal institution for the better. Key word, for the better. In other words, we are in a state of changing the processes of our political and societal institutions for the better. Thank you for that volume. Put a little bass in my voice. After the Renaissance period in history came the Reformation and Enlightenment. And as I studied more, I learned that this was a time where human reasoning would discover truths about the world, religion, and politics, and it was used to improve the lives of mankind. It was a time where everything was subjected to testing and rational analysis. Skepticism was at an all-time high. Does that sound familiar? I'm sure I'm not the only one with a few Facebook philosopher friends. I'm sure I'm not the only one aware that social media is usually the first place where news makes it to, and then we have to question whether it's true or not. We hear things from our government right now, we have to question whether it's true or not. Is it fake news? Is it real news? What's going on? Things are changing, and regardless of how it may look, I believe in the end, it will all work out to be for the better. I've learned in my time of being involved in politics that people do not care how much you say you care. They want to know three things. What did you say you were going to do? What did you actually do? And what are you going to do now? Thank you for that one, Tina. So let's talk about it. What did we do? What did we say we was going to do? And what are we going to do now? Last year, we made a commitment to work on reducing violence and increasing public safety, and we began with implementing the group violence intervention as a part of a strategy and co-hosting the first summit to reduce violence. Over the last year, the department hired the GVI coordinator, Ms. Cheryl Ragland, who's also in the building right now. Just like Will Forgrave talked about, we hired 6 police officers in the last year as well as other investigative community efforts. The impact of those efforts led to a reduction in homicides from 7 in 2021 to 4 in 2022. That's a 57% reduction. That's worth clapping for. Total gunshot victims are down from 31 in 2021. This is bullets to body, as the chief would say, bullets to body. From 31 in 2021 to 14 in 2022. That's a 45% reduction. And we are definitely committed to making sure that those numbers continue to reduce. We are continuing to work the GVI strategy. The second summit to reduce violence is scheduled for April 21st. This year we're hosting it out at Jackson College. Want to invite you all to be out there. It starts at 8 o'clock in the morning. You can pre-register if you want. You don't have to. You can just show up. In addition to that, several citizens are working to organize neighborhood watch groups as well. Last year, we recognized the severity of the housing crisis in Jackson. Now, right here, I'll stand and tell you that we also acknowledge that the effects of some of the actions taken by previous administrations' misjudgment and the demolition of several houses has contributed to this problem. We committed to working on this issue and announced several projects that will be taking shape to assist in addressing this issue. Over the last year, the city sold over 45 vacant lots, created a buildable lot program to assist in creating interest in developing new single-family homes, signed the necessary agreements to start the Greenwood apartment project. We recently signed an agreement with a developer who is purchasing 137 lots to build single-family homes for rent, and their target market is those who are 80% to 100% average median income. In addition to that, we also approved the Affordable Housing Commission's plan to partner with another developer and some of the great organizations in our community to build 100 new homes, owner-occupied homes, with a target market of those who are 60% to 80% average median income, where we will provide down payment assistance as well. That's 237 new houses scheduled to be built in the city of Jackson. I'd like to note that that is the most houses that will be built in Jackson since World War II. And for all those wondering, yes, the redevelopment of the Hayes Hotel will still happen, which is a $28 million redevelopment. Economic development and supporting the businesses in our community is what allows us to continue to grow as a city. We have shown our commitment to continuing the growth in several ways. In the last year, we've developed additional businesses in downtown like the Blue Julep, RJ's Heavenly Delights, the recent ribbon cutting of the Commonwealth. We officially opened the downtown social district and have accepted a bid on the for the work on the former Masonic Temple, now the city center, to develop the commissary kitchen incubator that will allow food trucks, caterers, and other food concepts businesses to grow and continue to thrive in our community. Let's talk about revitalizing Jackson's South Side. Last year, we made it a commitment to make an intentional reinvestment in Jackson's South Side. The Martin Luther King Corridor Improvement Authority, who is tasked with the mission of promoting economic growth and development by aiding in the reinvestment and revitalization of property and supporting business opportunities within its district, has been making some very major strides. The city approved, hold on, lost my spot. The city approved the MLK CIA to expand its development area, and the TIF plan was approved. We also purchased a lot on Prospect with a plan to build the grocery store that we have been waiting for 20 years. In addition to that, City Council unanimously approved a $4.5 million allocation to the MLK corridor. Those dollars will be used to build that grocery store on the south side. And then we currently, as far as that grocery store, we currently have a request for proposal out right now on the city website to seek developers interested in working on that project. In addition, the dollars will be used to create an entrepreneur grant fund that existing and new entrepreneurs and property owners within the corridor will be able to apply for. The city has also applied for a grant with the state of Michigan that, if awarded, would allow for a complete reconstruction of MLK from South Street down to Morrell. That's top and bottom. This means underground infrastructure, streetscapes, sidewalks, lighting, and the street would be replaced completely. This year, we also created a collaboration with Jackson College. This was a proud moment for me because it's a time where I get to kind of wear my hat as the mayor as well as the hat that I wear at Jackson College. We created a partnership with Jackson College to bring classes right here to the King Center. That program, in addition to everything else that Tone got going on down here, is the reason that we are right now working so diligently to make sure that we fulfill the promise of expanding the King Center, this building that we are currently in. And we have submitted for a $4 million request from the federal government to help pay for that expansion. As a city who has made a commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion, we look forward to continuing to live that commitment. Some of the things that we did last year, we celebrated Asian American Heritage Month by planting a cherry blossom tree in a city park. We sponsored and supported the first ever Hispanic Heritage Festival in downtown. We sponsored and supported Juneteenth Family Festival and honored the national holiday, now national holiday, which we actually made a city holiday 2 years previous to it becoming a national holiday. We celebrated that by raising the red, black, and green flag during the month of June, as well as we continue to celebrate and embrace our LGBTQ community with collaborations with the Jackson Pride Center. We also honored Native American Heritage Month by delivering a proclamation to the descendants of the Potawatomi tribe who still live right here in the city of Jackson. Last year, we received several requests for assistance in helping with the issue of homelessness from business owners in the downtown area who were overwhelmed and concerned citizens who just wanted to see someone else care enough to help. This was an issue we heard about from month to month, urging the city of Jackson to take action. While I think it's safe to speak on behalf of all the council and the fact that none of us are experts in the area of serving and trying to end homelessness for citizens in our community, we all felt like it was our duty to at least do what we can. We funded an emergency hotel program for the homeless to provide a safe and warm place to be during the most vulnerable months of the year. And we partnered with Residents in Action to provide the structure and implementation of the project. Residents in Action served over 80 unique individuals and several family members along with them, including children, over the duration of this project, providing hotel vouchers, food, and other necessities. We also purchased T.A. Wilson and 10 pallet shelters to create a transitional housing project with the collaboration of some community partners to run the site, and we are hopeful that our efforts will have an impact on reducing the amount of street homeless and assist in the lack of transitional housing that we have available in the community. I mean, and I'll tell you, that took a bold move and a lot of trust from council and Jonathan and all parties involved, because a lot of people would tell you it is not, I'm going off script, they would tell you it is not our place as city government to worry about dealing with the homeless. But then the same people will turn around and call us and say, we don't want a homeless person asking us for money while I'm at my ATM, while I'm at my favorite restaurant, while I'm at my favorite bar, while I'm running my business. I don't want them coming in. I don't want to see them. I don't want to deal with them, but I don't want you to spend no money on them either. Right? Like, that's the conundrum that we were in. But we all chose and made the decision to do what's right for people. I felt personally obligated to do something when my mama showed up to a meeting and said, look, there's homeless people out there and they need help. So, yeah, thank you. Mom, yeah, she was on me, Pastor. She was on me. It also means something different, though. Seriously, it means something different when you know these individuals on a more personal level. Many of you guys know that I am not afraid to say I was homeless before. And then outside of being homeless, my mother ran the homeless shelter for almost 20 years. So when the population of homeless people see me, they don't see Commissioner Daniel Mahoney. They don't see Mayor Daniel Mahoney. They say, hey, Katrina's son, tell your mom I said hi. It hits a little bit different when you know people on a personal level. So what can you expect to see from the city of Jackson as we continue to press forward into the future? Well, you notice I didn't talk about roads, because we can always do more. We can always fix more. It's not enough until they all get fixed. What I would like to see us do is to create a long-term plan to address the condition of our roads. While fixing the roads may sound like an easy and reasonable request, the fact of the matter is it's complex, it's layered, and it's expensive. We have to work to balance not only making sure that we don't overwhelm the citizens and businesses with assessments, and we have to create a realistic plan to address the major roads as well as the streets that run through our neighborhoods. I requested our Environmental Commission to work on updating a more detailed sustainability plan for the city of Jackson. This plan was requested to be comprised of 5 areas. Area number 1, solid waste removal. Why? Because quite frankly, we deserve better than to be collectively paying $4.2 million a year for waste removal. We deserve better than that. Carbon and methane neutrality, because it's the environmentally responsible thing to be focused on for the future of our city. Renewable energy, because there are more efficient ways of powering our community. Green construction, because we should be rewarding corporations who come into our community with plans that include stewardship of our environment. And clean water, because we need it to live. And we are starting this plan with an energy audit on our city-owned facilities to learn where we can do better first. Soon I'll be asking council for their support in developing a broadband task force to create a plan to close the digital divide. George Clinton said, the revolution will not be televised, but I'm here to tell you it will be digitized. In all seriousness, we must work hard to make sure that all citizens have fair and equitable access to high-speed internet. This access makes the difference in a child's ability to learn and do homework, as well as adults' ability to find employment. COVID has shown the world of work that productivity is possible from home, and there is no turning back. 7% of our citizens are completely unserved, which is not bad for a community of our size. The larger issue is the underserved. In our community, we've got 58% of citizens who are underserved What does underserved mean? That means a location that lacks access to reliable broadband services. This task force will work to develop a plan so that Jackson can take advantage of the $42 billion, with a B, billion-dollar federal grant program that will assist us in closing that digital divide. We can't access those dollars if we don't have a plan. I look forward to the challenges and the opportunities we will face and the work ahead to bring all of our plans to fruition. I'm confident that we have what it takes to get all of this done. Just look at what we've been able to accomplish in one short year. But we can't do it without your help, without your input, whether we like your input sometimes or not. And most importantly, we can't do it without your support. We look forward to working together to continue building a better Jackson. We look forward to continuing to building a city with safe, vibrant, walkable neighborhoods with a thriving economy, well-maintained infrastructure where anyone can feel at home, look to raise a family or retire, and where local government exists to serve the citizens of the community. Thank you. So as I thought about tonight, over the last about 2.5 months, even though I just wrote that speech, finished it this afternoon, Aaron been asking me for the last 3 days, do you got your speech done yet? And I think I sent it to him at about 4 o'clock. But one of the major things that came to my mind is, what else can I do aside from coming here to talk about things that some people may already know that we've been doing, some people may not. Talk about some things that we want to see happen in the future. And all of that sounds good, but what else? What else can we do? And a friend of mine hit me up a few months ago. I don't know if Lane Montgomery might be out there in the digital world watching right now, but my theory is no good idea is an original idea. Someone else has always thought about it before you. In this case, they brought this idea to me and I had already been thinking about it. So I did what I generally do when I come up with an idea. First call is to Mr. John Willis. Hey John, I got this idea. I'm thinking about doing this thing, man. I want to give a key to the city. He said, I think it's a great idea. And I said, okay, I need some ideas on who to give it to. And he said, man, it's so many different people we can honor with that, man. Like, that's a tough one. And he said, give me a couple days to think about it, and I'll call you back and let you know. And I said, here's who I'm thinking. I gave him 2 names. He said, I don't even need to think no more. That's it right there. That's the people. My next call when I get a bright idea is to the city manager. We sit down every Friday. I think we've missed maybe 3-4 Fridays in the last year of meeting on Fridays. We meet every Friday, but this one required a phone call. I said, Jonathan, I got this idea. I want to do this thing at the State of the City. And he said, okay, tell me what you want to do. And I sent him a picture, and he said, okay, we'll send that to Lisa. We'll get it ordered. And I said, I want your opinion on who to give it to. And I told him the 2 names, and he said, oh, that's perfect. That's it. So without a doubt, I know this is going to the right person. I just want to start by telling you my first and best recollection of sitting down and seeing the first person. And then I'll tell you how they back their words up. So about 5 years ago, there was a meeting downtown. I like to call it the meeting where they got all the black people together that they would call if something happened in the black community that they didn't want to happen in the black community, and they needed to do damage control, okay? One of those people was Pastor James Hines, and we sat on the 10th floor in the conference room, And they kind of explained, and Lee Hampton called this meeting together. I don't know if you've ever gotten a call from Lee Hampton when he was still at the college, but Lee will call you and give you like maybe 24 hours notice that he needs you to be somewhere. Sometimes it's less than that. So he called me, Mr. Mahoney, we get this group together, we gotta make sure that we're being proactive. If something happened in the community, we need you there. Okay, I'm there. So we got into the room and they kind of explained what was going on. And at the end of them explaining, Pastor Hines was the first to comment. And his comment, I still remember it to this day because I laughed. I probably shouldn't have been laughing. It was a serious meeting. And Pastor Hines said, well, he sat back in the chair and he said, I'm going to tell you now, if you think you're going to do something to the people in my community and be able to call me to help you, you're wrong, because I'm going to be right out there with them. Right? Yeah, that deserves an applause, right? Because I'm going to tell you how he backed it up. Little did we know the eruption of social justice would happen in 2020, where everybody in the world, including right here in Jackson, stood up and protested against the injustices that seem to continuously happen against black people. And they were outraged, right? And I jumped in my car because there was 4 or 5 protests happening and I didn't know which one to be at. So I'm just checking things out. Somebody said, well, they down there in front of the city police station. That's where everybody's at. So I'm checking the scene out. I've seen people getting tear gassed and all kinds of crazy stuff happening. I want to look first. I drove by in slow motion. There's probably 250 people standing out there. And the face that I recognized first in that 200 to 250 people was Pastor Hines. Many people call him and have dubbed him the community's pastor. The community's pastor. I got married in Pastor Hines' church. He don't play no games about his church. My uncle and my brother was playing around in his sanctuary, and he, hold on, you don't run around in my sanctuary. And then he told me he was gonna call the whole thing off. Hold on, wait a minute. Hold on, Pastor Joe, I'm gonna get them together. But I just want to say how much I appreciate the relationship that I have with you, to be able to call you a mentor, to be able to call you and be a part of the community that you pastor over, and let you know how much you mean by bestowing what I consider the highest honor in this community that someone can receive, to be one of the first. I don't know if it's ever been done before me. I'm gonna claim it to be the first and somebody tell me differently. To be the first person to receive this honor of receiving the key to the city for 2023 for your support of the community of Jackson. Pastor James Hines.
I first want to say thank you to God. That statement might be a common phrase, but it's a reality for me. When I reflect on my upbringing, I knew the Holy Spirit had navigated in my mother and father life to raise me a certain way. My father couldn't read, neither could my mother. But they put 12 kids through college. They moved homeless people off of the street and made us give up our bedroom. I thank God because I wear a watch today that is my father-in-law's watch. He trusted me with his daughter. I thank God for her because she trusted me to be a father for children. I told a kid he runs a business today. He said, Pastor Hines, how old were you and Sister Hines when you moved me in? I said I was 31 and she was 30. The sacrifice that she gave to help make this award tonight is monumental. I want to thank God for my children because they forced me to be a better father. And I don't say that lightly. My children educated me. I tell the joke about picking them up one day and having teenagers in my car, and it was report card time. And I said to them, what kind of grades you got? And I knew they was 4 point. They had got their report cards, and so then I want to be braggadocious in front of the college students. I said, what kind of grade will you give me as a father? And my daughter, who's built and made mentally like me, said a C. My son, who's compassionate like his mother, said maybe a B+. But I wasn't going to drop it there. I said, well, I have a right to learn. How can I improve? And my children was in the 3rd and 5th grade, and they set a new direction in my life when I listened to their voice. They said, if you would stop hollering at us while we compete. It was a Saturday coming, and I was determined to change. I stopped yelling, but I got sick. I started to sweat, hives broke out on me. I went to Dr. Rosenberg's office. I thought I was having a heart attack. I really did. And he said to me, Pastor Hines, you're having withdrawals. But I learned when you really want to be better and to change your family and your community, it starts within you first. And it hurts to change. It helped me even to be a better husband. Putting on a tie and a suit don't always bring smiles to people's face. But I learned something from that backseat conversation. You're a C-. And so I began to change my life so I could be a better man, a better father. And to the man, I want to say thank God because you are the first. And I got to live in that era. My mother, who's 96 years old, she had 12 children, only 5 living. But her bragging point is, God allowed me to see the first African-American president, President Obama. And I'm so glad that me and my mother got to live to see the first. And I say to all of you, you hold the keys to what this city's going to be today and tomorrow and forever. And never forget, it starts with you first. Before anybody can change, you must change. God bless you and thank you.
I was looking more forward to doing this part than I was the whole address. I couldn't wait to give these keys out, I'm telling you. The second key will be given out at another time. I said for it to be the first year, I wanted to do 2. Like I said, I gave 2 names. The first we just presented. The second was for someone posthumously. Is that the right word? I can't think of that. Is that the right post? Posthumously. Thank you. I won't elaborate too much because if you know the story and you know the work of this individual, then you know that their impact and their love for this community runs deep. And we will be presenting the next key to Mr. Al Glick's family in his absence. And the family sends their thanks already, but they are out of town, and they were adamant about saying, no, we want to accept that ourselves. And we got plans to, myself and the city manager will be going over to Alro still next week or the end of next week sometime to present that to them. But he just poured, to have individuals like a Mr. Al Glick, like Pastor Hines in the city of Jackson is what makes our community work. Those individuals, as well as many more, deserve to have the flowers given to them while they can still smell them. So we thank you. I thank you again for allowing me to serve. I sincerely mean that. Take this job very seriously. It's a lot of sleepless nights, but the work is more than worth it. That's all I'm gonna say tonight. I appreciate you, and I'm gonna bring John Willis back up. Commissioner John Willis.
Come on, y'all gotta get a bigger hand of applause than that for the mayor of our city. Let's go. It's ironic that the two people he awarded keys to the city spent so much time right here at King Center. I was down here for a long time on a regular basis. Mr. Al Glick, he would either have somebody drive him down or he would drive himself down in that blue SUV. Now I could always tell when Al was driving because it would be parked a little slanted and about 4 or 5 feet back from the curb. But he would come in and he would just spend time in our office talking to us, telling us how Alro Steel started on Adrian Street, when Adrian Street went all the way through on a regular basis. He showed up at my house for my son's open house. So I don't know about y'all, but I had a billionaire inside of my house. But that's how he was caring as a person, to never forget King Center and to come make some of the commitments that he did to this facility. This pastor sitting right over here was not my pastor that I grew up with, but about 5 years ago, my back had been hurt for a while, and I began to work on trying to get the weight off me, working on get off weight. So I was coming down here about 6 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, and I'd just be working out by myself trying to get it. And Pastor Hines found out I was down here. For almost a year on a regular basis, this man showed up to keep me company down in King Center. Regular basis. Never forget it. Now, I had to hear a lot about Joseph, Lily, and Leontine, because that's his heart. That's his heart. I told him I've seen a lot of pastors. A lot of pastors have a lot of chains. They have crosses and gold, and Pastor Hines had one word on his chain. It said, Daddy. That meant a lot to me. That meant a lot to me. Of all the things that he could talk about, the work he's done in the church, his key chain, his chain said Daddy. And I've never forgotten that. Pastor Hines, we appreciate you. Honored to be here to support you. Yes, sir. Up next, to close us out, the voice you'll hear. For our staff, this is our leader inside at the behest of the council. With the council requests, they send them to our city manager. Our city manager has done an unbelievable job in building our team. Building our team. For those of you that don't know, he's got a study in this book right now called Extreme Ownership. Shane and those, they know what I'm talking about. But what it talks about is there are no bad teams, only bad leaders. But it's not what he says, it's what he does. How he's built the team, how you're starting to see in your neighborhoods, in your communities, the collaborations of different departments in the cities working together to achieve the dreams of the city council and the dreams of our constituents. Please welcome to the stage to close us out, our city manager, Mr. Jonathan Greene.
there will be no more standing. Good evening, everyone. Hey, I like that. It's an honor to be here, and it's an honor to serve every day as city manager of Jackson. It was my dream. And when I got the opportunity to do it, I didn't think twice. And I just appreciate getting to do it every day. Appreciate even those long Tuesday nights. It can happen from time to time. But it's really an honor to serve the city of Jackson and work with so many great people elected, our residents, and our staff. I don't know how many people spoke tonight and gave speeches, but I do know none of us talked to each other about what we were going to say. But somehow, kind of have some of the same similar themes. Progress, decision-making, mistakes, homelessness, to name a few. So if you choose to think about tonight after you leave here, maybe you'll catch in each of our speeches kind of that thread and that alignment we all have without even talking to each other about it. Like Daniel said, Mayor Mahoney said, he crafted his speech this afternoon. I only crafted mine this morning. So, here we go. There aren't many times in life when one is absolute certain they're making the best choice for themselves or for the people they care about. I know that in my life, the best example I can think of, when I was 100% certain of the right thing to do, the smartest thing to do, and the most beneficial and rewarding thing to do for me was when I knew I needed to propose to my wife, Melissa, and create a life together. Without a doubt, that was one of the recent decisions I knew, 100% certain it was the right one to do. But almost all other times when faced with the decision to act or not act, to move in a certain direction, to do or not to do, the choice or decision was less clear. If only I had that one piece of critical information, if only I had a little more time and a little more cushion or a little more clarity, I could know that what I was about to embark on was guaranteed to succeed and create the change and improvement in my situation that I desired. But life doesn't work that way. And on the flip side, doing nothing or maintaining the status quo is equally dangerous. Being riddled with anxiety or paralyzed by fear of making the wrong choice and ending up doing nothing isn't a recipe for guaranteed success either. What if it doesn't work out? What if it's a miserable mess? What if? What if? What if? In my life, I've been guilty of both. I've waited too long and seen opportunities sail past. It happens. I have done nothing out of fear and missed beautiful chances. Thankfully, I have grown and I have learned. And when I feel that pressure of trying to decide what to do in a certain situation, to make the right choice, whether it be to lead, or whether it be how to lead the city, lead my family, or lead my personal life, I think of a quote that I learned from the Stoic philosopher named Epictetus. He said once, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. This was a guy 2,000-ish years ago, Greek Stoic philosopher. Kind of had it on point. And what he meant by that is that a person never knows how anything is going to turn out. And we never know all that we wish we knew in order to achieve the success we were looking for. So we may end up making a few mistakes along the way. I have. I bet everyone in this room has. We will ask odd questions, maybe even, as Epictetus says, stupid ones. We will create plans, and again, just like he says, they may even be foolish. So what is a person to do then? How could we ever expect to make progress? How could we ever expect to improve? And for the purpose of tonight, how could the city of Jackson and its leaders ever do anything to make a difference in our community since we can never be guaranteed success. The weight of our work can be so heavy and the microscope we operate under so powerful that taking that first step to do or not to do, explore or stagnate, can be too much to bear. So after I remind myself that in our pursuit to be better, and when faced with the difficult choices with not enough information, maybe not enough time or clarity, I try to do three things. And as a leader, it can be hard to remember all this stuff because you got a lot of going on in your brain. But here's what I do. I relax. I look around and I make a call. And with each piece of new information, with time that I was looking for, with the clarity I was seeking, I continue to be detached but engaged, and I'm constantly evaluating, assessing, and I continue to relax, look around, and make a call. Whether it be on select Tuesday nights, in my office, on the street, talking to constituents, whether it be in my personal life or professional life, my behavior is the same. I relax. I physically try to induce relaxation by or maybe even shake it out a little bit. Sometimes you'll see me in that room shaking it out. I do workouts here in this awesome facility. Catching up now? Then I look around at everything in front of me. I consider, but I do not dwell on what I know and what I don't know. I accept the situation may change and may change rapidly. And in hindsight, I may even look foolish. But then I simply make a call. But here's the secret to what most people miss. You have to keep doing that. You have to continuously take in new information. And by relaxing, looking around, and making a call, and another call, and another call, and another call, until you've achieved your objective. On February 25th, 2020, I was appointed interim city manager. And as everyone already knows, about 1 month later, the world was flipped upside down. In these last 3 years, the city has faced numerous challenges. From our fiscal health to the health of our residents, our ability to lead and succeed through the almost never seen before challenges has been tested. The city council at that time and iterations since then have found themselves dealing with issues never seen before. We've had remote council meetings, we've had them outside, we've made difficult choices, and at all times we try to do what is in the best interest of the city of Jackson. And we've tried to stretch ourselves beyond our current capacity and beyond what we've normally done as a city. We've needed to help coordinate food assistance on this property, out in that parking lot. We've needed to show lots of grace and patience with others as they struggle personally. We have needed to change the way we work, who we work with, and how we deploy our resources. And in some instances, take bold chances in pursuit of a better Jackson. We have engaged with people and groups who have traditionally not been a part of what we do. We have had to expand in areas like homelessness, something we've never been a part of. We've had to learn about that work, the effort it takes, the resources it takes, and the people in that space, and figure out how we could help. We've had numerous meetings, vigorous debate, plans, ideas, and opinions. From time to time, I've had to elect to be comfortable that in our pursuit for a better Jackson, that we've had some foolish thoughts and asked some out there questions. It always hasn't been pretty, and it definitely hasn't always been popular. But we pushed. And in the course of trying to make Jackson better, we made ourselves better. We made cuts, we made additions, we made mistakes, and we've had lots of success. And so long, when faced with the never been done before, the wish that we knew a little bit more, or had those extra minutes, those extra days to consider our options, I think when we relax, look around, make a call, and keep doing that. We will continue to make a difference for our community and for our people. Thank you.
Once again, put our hand together for our mayor, our city manager, and our city council tonight. Very special thanks to you all for taking the time to come out and support our State of the City event evening. That is the end of our program. Thank you, and everyone have a blessed evening. Oh, God. Good job. Yes, sir.